Once again, it's on. You know what time it is. It's time to play some toss. Welcome, everyone, to episode 94 of the Tristain Sports Show Toss. Yes, it is your main man, the friendly neighborhood T-Squared Tristan Thomas. Thank you all so very much for joining us. This week, we've got to talk about the Green Bay Packers falling flat on their faces in the season opener in Jacksonville versus the Saints. Oh, I got some words about this. We'll finish up with the Milwaukee Brewers. It is an all state of the state episode. We'll finish up with the Milwaukee Brewers. How are they playing? What's going on? We had an all-time great retire today, and we had a special performance by the Brewers this past weekend, and some people have the unmitigated audacity to complain about it. Oh, I got words for them too. We'll get into it. But you all know how we get things started. Here on Toss, we get things started with the state of the state, again, an all state of the state episode, because we got plenty to talk about here in the state of Wisconsin with these teams. But before we do that, I cannot believe I forgot that it was the 6th anniversary of Toss. 6th anniversary of Toss. 6 years ago, we began this program, hot off the heels of a television appearance on the Round Table. At the time, Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, which turned into Spectrum Sports and now Spectrum News 1. Fresh off the heels of a Talking the Talk championship that allowed me that opportunity to make multiple appearances on the Round Table. A lot of fun that era was. But you all were clamoring for more from me, and I had to give it to you because a lot of you have been rocking with us all 6 years, and I cannot stress how much I thank you for your love, for your support, because you all are fans of truthful, opinionated, and passionate sports talk. You don't like the hot takes. You don't want the bull. You want the real. And that's what we aim to do each and every single week here on Toss. And you rock with that. And I cannot thank you enough, but we've achieved some great things. The number one of the top, at the time, the number one podcast. I can't even get the words out because it's still unbelievable to me. The number one podcast in all of India. What up, India? I love y'all. Rocking out all over the world in Ireland, Ghana. China's in it. Australia, Canada. I mean, so many places around the world are rocking with Toss, and it really just humbles me that so many of you are just tuning in every single week, rocking with us, going to tossnationmedia.com. I've gotten a lot more followers on Twitter at D20Double. The Facebook page continues to grow because of all of you. It's Tion Sports Show, facebook.com. 6 years, man, and we got a lot to go. I'm not stopping. I'm not slowing down because you all want that truthful, opinionated, and passionate flavor. And we're going to continue to give it to you here on Toss. So happy 6th anniversary. Thank you all so much for rocking with us and continuing to do so. We got a lot more to go. All right, let's get into the state of the state. We got to talk about the Green Bay Packers. And before we do that, before we do anything, they got to get hit with one of these. I mean, are you kidding me with that performance? It's the season opener. Most of the starters didn't play a lick of preseason. And let me be very, very clear. Rodgers playing or not playing preseason had absolutely nothing to do with that performance. There was a lot wrong with that performance, but not playing in preseason wasn't one of them. We'll get to that in a minute. You had ample time to prepare. You're at your healthiest point, besides Zadarius Smith, who was dealing with a back injury, and he played sparingly, but he still played. You're at your healthiest. You're apparently at your hungriest, according to Devontae Adams. And you get your asses handed to you. from goal line to goal line by the New Orleans Saints, falling flat on your face is 38-3. Putrid. Just an absolutely putrid performance is exactly what that was. You didn't show up. And we've seen these performances before in games against San Francisco. Last year against Tampa Bay, where Rodgers had 2 picks in that game as well. He had 2 picks this week against the Saints. It was the first time he's had 2 interceptions in a season opener since 2010, the year the Packers went and won the Super Bowl. People are trying to draw parallels to that. People are trying to draw parallels to the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just last season lost 38-3 to the Saints. They went on to win the Super Bowl. You can't draw those parallels. That's not what's going to get you to the Super Bowl, getting your asses whooped like that. As I mentioned, a lot went wrong. It was an uncharacteristically terrible, horrible, no good, very bad game by Aaron Rodgers, and he admitted as much. Did not play well. Apparently, the first interception he threw, he had a double nut shot, is what he called it on Pat McAfee's show. That second interception was just and you don't say this about Aaron Rodgers very often, but it was just a dumb throw. It was a really bad throw. Uncharacteristically terrible by him. Now, you do have to give the Saints credit. It wasn't just bad play by the Packers that caused them to lose that game. It was bad play also forced by the Saints. The Saints absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage. Completely controlled the line of scrimmage. And it felt as if the Packers just took it. They accepted it. They were lifeless. They were listless. They were uninspired, flat. Whatever superlative you want to put on that, put on that. But that's what they were. They were just downright putrid. And it's really shocking that you come out and you start the season like that. Week 1, typically offenses are ahead of the defenses. But you were dominated in every phase of the game by the Saints. This is the first time under Matt LaFleur that the Packers did not score at least 1 touchdown. I mean, everything that went wrong in that game. And the fact that it felt like they didn't put up really much of a fight. They were uninspired. No juice. That's problematic to start a season with. Now, post-game press conference, Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, called it embarrassing. He's right. Aaron Rodgers called, well, I mean, he didn't really call the loss anything. He said, hey, it's 1 of 16, or excuse me, 1 of 17, which, by the way, I need to correct myself, something from last week. I don't know why I kept talking about 18 games. I think I went back to when the owners were discussing with the Players Association on possibly going to 18 games and shrinking the preseason to 2 games as opposed to 3. It's 17 games. So I don't know why I kept saying 18 last season. So I apologize for that. But back to this week. He said it's 1 of 17. Aaron Rodgers did. A lot of football left to be played. And he's also correct. But it's very concerning when you start a season off this way with that type of performance. With no juice, just absolutely putrid football being played, absolute putrid effort being shown. The fact that Jordan Love actually got regular season snaps, did pretty decently, showed you how bad that performance was. Wide receivers couldn't create any kind of separation. Again, you have to give some credit to the corners and the safety play. of the Saints. But you also have to lay some of the blame at the feet of the Packers wide receivers. You also have to lay some of the blame on the play callers. Matt LaFleur, a guy who really implemented pre-snap motion into this Packers offense, giving extra things for the defense to think about. Where was that on Sunday? That was just about non-existent. Just wasn't there. Joe Barry, in multiple press conferences, says he wanted to play fast and aggressive, and you really didn't see that from the defense at all. All of it is very problematic to watch. That kind of a performance to start off the season is going to raise everyone's eyebrows. You're an NFC finalist last 2 seasons. People are very much expecting you to probably get there again, and this team is good enough to get past that and get to the Super Bowl. It really is. But not like that. Not in that form. You can't even call that a shell of what they have been the past 2 seasons, or even really, especially last season. Nobody showed up to Jacksonville to play. Other than the New Orleans Saints, not a one single Packer showed up to play. And don't even get me started on how come the running game wasn't a bigger factor. It was not like you were down a whole heck of a lot at once. Early on in that game, you could still run the football and you could run it effectively. They didn't do that. Not enough Jones, not enough Dillon. Matt LaFleur really just could not get into his game plan. He admitted as much. They were scrambling to recover. And you can see that. Because guys did not come ready to play. Coaches did not put players in the best position to succeed. The New Orleans Saints controlled the line of scrimmage. Jameis Winston played as efficiently as you possibly could. 5 touchdown passes as a result. Didn't even get over 200 yards passing. Didn't need to. Just an absolutely putrid performance by the Green Bay Packers. They have an extra day to think about it. They will not play Sunday. They will play on Monday night. Home opener, Lambeau Field. A fully packed house, nearly 80,000 people, against a divisional team in the Detroit Lions, who now have Jared Goff back there. I'll talk more about that on Quick Toss. You can catch that on Thursday morning, facebook.com/TOnSportsShow, as well as YouTube. I'll give you more insight in my prediction there, but it's really easy to say they got to be better. And I think they will be on Monday night. But that kind of a performance, you just hope it's not going to be something habitual. You hope that was just a one-off. You hate to start the season that way. But as Roger said, there's 16 more. They'll learn, they'll grow, they'll be better. At least we hope. Continuing on this all state of the state episode on Toss, we have to get to the National League Central leading Milwaukee Brewers. Coming into play tonight, they are 89-55, a 14-game lead over the Cincinnati Reds. They've won 14 of their last 17 series. They're at 36-16 in that span. They're getting plays from all over the place. They're getting some timely hitting. Yelich has been a whole lot better. Adames keeps doing his thing. The pitching, we'll talk about them in a minute. But this team, and you don't want to throw the puns out there, but there's something special brewing in Milwaukee. This is a really good squad, y'all. This is a really, really good squad. If you haven't had a chance to watch them, they've been on national television a little bit more. I encourage you to go and watch the Brewers, see how they do things. It's a fun team to watch. You can't ever count them out. Yes, they've had a couple of ugly losses where it was double digits and they've been shut out, but then they've also put it on other teams much the same way. More times than not. Again, winning 14 of the last 17 series, 36-16 in that time span. 14-game lead in the National League Central Division. I believe the magic number is 5 or 4. Getting very, very close to clinching the division. Still trying to go head up with the Giants for that 1 seed in the National League, but I don't think they'll get it. Giants already over 90 wins. Really good team there. Brewers beat them. They meet up. That's going to be a really good series. They played each other very, very well over the course of the season. Very close games, very exciting games. But the Brewers continue to keep rolling. A little bit of news before we get to that special performance this past weekend. We all kind of sensed that this was coming. I think people kind of had a little bit of hope that maybe he may return later in the season for some clutch at-bats. He's made appearances. He's been around the team. But you just kind of had that feeling like it was over. And Ryan Braun made that official today. He officially announced his retirement from Major League Baseball from the Milwaukee Brewers. 14 years. 14 years. He's going to go down as one of the all-time Brewer greats. And look, we know about the steroid use, and we know about his lying about it, and we know how his lying caused other people to lose their jobs and get in some major trouble. And that will always be a part of his career. There's no getting around that. But when you look at what he's done over the totality of his career, all of it can't be attributed to steroids. Even after he admitted it, served his suspension, came back, injuries caught up with him, but he was still very, very productive. Still gave you some really clutch at-bats. Still out in that outfield, playing every day. Just take a look at his career stats. 352 home runs, 1,154 RBI. He had 809 extra base hits. 408 of those were doubles. So a lot of home runs and doubles. Over 3,500 total bases. This man's going to go down as one of the all-time Brewer greats. Now, you wonder if he would have stayed healthy, how much better those numbers would have been. But after 14 years, to put together that kind of a career, again, 352 home runs, over 1,100 RBI, that's a great career. I think a lot of major leaguers would not mind retiring with those kinds of numbers and those types of moments, clutch moments, that he was able to come up with. In the biggest moments, you know, in playoff time and late season playoff chases, all of that. Hell of a career by Ryan Braun. Appreciative of his time here. Fun to watch. It just takes you back to when all those those young pups, got called up. You got Braun, who ended up winning Rookie of the Year, but you talk about when they called up Fielder and Ricky Weeks and Corey Hart, J.J. Hardy. I mean, there was some really promising times, and there was a really scrappy team, and they were like right there on the cusp of making playoffs, and they started making playoffs and close to a World Series championship one time. But again, they just could not pitch in that NLCS against the Cardinals, and Sean Markham and others. Oh my gosh, just could not find it. Cost them a World Series trip. But I digress. Just a hell of a career, brings back a lot of memories. Ryan Braun. Hopefully he has a wonderful retirement with his family. He's earned it. He's earned it. All right, so let's talk about last Saturday. You all know this by now, but we're going to talk about it here on Toss because you haven't heard it from me. No-hitter. Combined no-hitter. Thrown against Cleveland in a 3-0 win. Corbin Burnes started it, 8 innings, 1 walk, 14 strikeouts. Josh Hader finished it, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, got the save for the first no-hitter in 34 years by Brewers pitching. Last one by Juan Nieves back in 1987. Remarkable performance. Burnes was in control from the word go. Just nasty, nasty swing and miss stuff. And we talked about Burnes, and we talked about what he's done differently. How he really stopped throwing a straight fastball and really started throwing that cutter, and that's really made the difference in his career. Just absolutely filthy swing and miss stuff. I'm somebody who was a big Corbin Burnes fan and just knew that he would eventually find it. The same way I felt that Freddie Peralta would eventually find it, the way I knew that Woodruff will be good from where it go, and he has been. Brewers pitching has been flirting with no-hitters all season long. And I said it multiple times. Man, they're gonna finish one this season. This is too much filthy stuff, and too many times that they flirted with 6-7 innings of no-hit ball. For them, it's been way too many times they've done that for them not to finish one this season. They're going to finish one. Our friend Evan Watallison of Talking Sports with Evan even tweeted out that the Brewers were going to throw a no-hitter over the weekend, possibly Saturday, when he wasn't able to watch, and that's exactly what they did. Nostradamus over there. What up, Evan? Much love to Evan. But it's also, like I said, they're going to finish one before the season's over with. This is too many times they flirted with no-hit ball to not finish one, and they got it done. Burnes and Hader. Omar Narvaez calling a hell of a game for those two guys. The battery was just in sync that night. Just absolute dominant pitching, as the pitching has been all season. And it's starting to get better. The rookie Ashby, who got lit up in his first start, now he's been coming in out of the bullpen. He's been lights out. Devin Williams, he's been lights out. Boxberger, he's been good. This pitching was carrying, it has been carrying the team, and it has been for the past few seasons. And I've asked it, are they going to get enough hitting? Are they going to get enough offense? Are some guys who were scuffling are going to find it? Well, that's exactly what's happening. They're starting to find it. And they're starting to put more runs on the board. And when they aren't able, they're able to get across a couple of runs or enough runs, and the pitching just goes lights out. And they're able to get wins. But back to this no-hitter. It is a combined no-hitter. You're on the edge of your seat regardless. It doesn't matter if it's one pitcher who finishes it, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitchers. You're still on the edge of your seat. because it's a no-hitter. A guy could try and lay down a bunt at any time to try to break up that no-hitter. Every pitch puts you on the edge of your seat. Guy could reach out, get a bloop single, poke one out for a home run. You know how small these ballparks are these days? You're on the edge of your seat. It doesn't matter how many pitchers are pitching to try and complete this thing. It is a no-hitter. It is exciting. It is something that does not really happen that often. Now, this season, I believe it's the most no-hitters thrown in the season. I think we're at 9 if you include the Brewers this past Saturday. 9 no-hitters thrown this season alone. But my point is, it's amazing. It's incredible to not allow other major league club a hit. These are professional hitters. This is what they do for a living. This is how they make millions of dollars. And you go out there and you stop them from doing their job. They don't get one single hit. It is absolutely incredible. I don't give a damn how many pitchers it takes to complete it. Now, that's me. And a lot of people also think the same way as I do. But there's a certain segment of people, a certain segment of Brewers fans, I'm using air quotes as we speak, that are absolutely miserable enough to complain that Burns didn't finish the no-hitter by himself. Let me hit y'all with that again. There are a certain segment of miserable as Brewers fans, and I'm using air quotes, that have the unmitigated gall to complain that the no-hitter was not combined, that it was a combined no-hitter and not one completed by Burns by himself. You have got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You're complaining about seeing something that has not happened in 34 years. And if you really want to be technical about it, back in the 2008 season, we saw a no-hitter by CC Sabathia in Pittsburgh. That score, I don't know what the hell he was thinking about, but he would not change that ruling. He called it an error. Or excuse me, he called it a hit. It was clearly an error. They would not change the ruling. I believe the Brewers appealed. Major League Baseball wouldn't overturn it. Goes down as a one-hitter. Still mad about that. Even after all these years, this is 13 years later, still mad about that. But I digress. So officially, we have not seen that from a Brewers pitcher or Brewers pitching, period, in 34 years. We've seen something incredible. We've seen the Brewers get no hit. Justin Verlander. And that sick feeling in your gut, like, man, I can't believe I sat there and watched them get 0 hits. Absolutely dominated by this guy. So you go from that feeling to now saying, oh, man, I just witnessed. You should be saying, oh, we just witnessed Brewers pitching not give up a single hit, flat out dominate that other team to do something we have not seen in 34 years. This is incredible. Instead of saying that, you're saying, oh, well, I mean, you can call it a no-hitter, but I mean, Burns didn't do it himself. I mean, it's a little bit less exciting. And you got 2 guys who had to finish it. It's not a real no-hitter in my book. Well, damn your book. There's a reason why they don't use your book. Those of us with sense understand that it is a no-hitter. Did Cleveland have any hits? No, they did not. I don't give a damn how many pitches it took to complete it. That is still an incredible feat. The hardest thing to do, I think, in sports is to hit a baseball. Well, let's say one of the hardest things to do, right? One of the hardest things to do in all of sports is to hit a baseball. But you have professional hitters who go out there and make a damn good living if they're great at it. Make multi-millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, because they can hit that baseball. And some of them can hit it really, really far. And they make a living doing that. You stop guys like that from doing any of it. You stop the professional baseball team from doing their job, which is hit the baseball. And you cannot, in your feeble mind, understand how incredible that is. Instead, your mind is hardwired to complain. You have got to be kidding me. I have said this before, and I will say it again. Stop it. It is absolutely incredible to me how miserable some people actually are. You don't have to complain about everything. You have people complaining, and the Bucks won a championship, an NBA championship this season, and they're finding stuff to nitpick about. The Brewers are 89-55. They have a 14-game lead in their division. They just threw a no-hitter, a combined no-hitter. And people are complaining. I'll leave it at this. You just have to be better. Brewers, one of the top teams in the National League. Congratulations on the no-hitter. Had me on the edge of my seat, and I'm so happy I was able to witness something that has not happened for this franchise in 34 years. Keep it rolling. Well, y'all, that'll do it for me. That was episode 94 of the Tristain on Sports Show Toss. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the number 2, the number 0, and the word double. That's at the20double. Follow me there. Facebook.com/TOnSportsShow, your home for the Toss on Facebook page. Talk about a lot of things there we don't necessarily get a chance to on the show. That's Facebook.com/TOnSportsShow. That's TON Sports Show. And of course, TossNationMedia.com, your home for the Toss brand of sports. Truthful, opinionated, passionate sports. It's what you deserve. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us for these last 6 years. Let's keep going. As I said before, it's time for me to get on up out of here. It's been T-Square, Tristain Thomas, reminding all of you to keep it moving forward. Always forward. Forward always. Until next week, so long from Toss.